Hey guys, welcome back to Reality Check, the GameSpot show that teaches us to love, laugh, learn, and of course, love. On this week's Love Lecture, animal murder. Or more to the point, using animals to murder. Duh, he's just so adorable. But is all this weaponizing of animals actually a real thing? Well, it's time to dig into the past and present to find out just how close this animal-aided anarchy is to real life. Now sure, using animals as weapons in video games is really nothing new. Exploiting terrifying, ferocious, deadly beasts to gain the upper hand in battle is something we've seen time and time again, although on some occasions, I must say, it can be hard to stomach. The Far Cry series has done this before too, though. When playing 3, I regularly unleash tigers to help capture outposts, cause a distraction, and just generally paw my enemies to death. However, Ubisoft really seemed to have doubled down on weaponizing animals in Far Cry 4, so much so that the centerpiece of their showing at this year's Sony E3 press conference was arguably this ferocious and decidedly explosion-proof elephant. But you know what? The Far Cry team didn't just make this all up. Well, maybe they're surviving the explosion bit, but the using the elephant in battle bit, oh no, that's a very real thing from very real history. Mention of war elephants can be found in historical texts from as early as the 4th century BC, and almost certainly originated in India before spreading out across Southeast Asia and also west towards the Mediterranean. Their main use in battle was to charge at the enemy, breaking their ranks, generally trampling their way through and scaring the living bejesus out of anyone still dumb enough to be standing there. There's even record of war elephants being outfitted with weapons and armor too, specifically heavy iron chains with steel balls at the end tied to their trunks. The animals were then trained to swirl them around like some sort of gigantic morning star. But you know, elephants aren't the only animals to have been weaponized in times of war. I tell you what, let's have a quiz. A world exclusive. It's time for the first ever and probably last ever game of... Real or a far cry from the truth? No, wait, I've got a better one. Used in war or Far Cry 4? Don't worry, it's easy. All you need to do is guess which option is an actual animal that's been used in war and which one is just a creature you can find in Far Cry 4. Let's give it a go. The answer is dolphins. Not killer dolphins, mind you. No, the United States Marine Mammal Program recruits bottlenose dolphins and also California sea lions to help find and ultimately dispose of underwater mines. They are taught to search specific areas for objects, notify the trainers if they find something, and then deploy a marking beacon so the disposal team can dive down and do their part. The program's days do appear to be numbered, however, as the use of live mammals is due to come to a close in 2017 as they are replaced by robotic mine finders. It's Pigeons! Meet Olga of Kiev. She was the ruler and regent of Kiev and Rus back in the 9th century AD. Her kingdom was made up of parts of modern-day Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia, and Olga was kind of a real-life Queen Cersei, every part as ruthless as she was cunning when it came to defending her son's right to sit upon the throne. When her enemies tried to steal her son's birthright by forcibly marrying her, she proceeded to take hostage of the 10 would-be suitors and bury them alive. Not in pigeons, mind you, that'd be weird. No, she used pigeons to burn down an entire city. How? Well, whilst laying siege to her enemy's last stronghold, by way of tribute, she demanded each household give her 3 pigeons and 3 sparrows. She then commanded her soldiers to attach sulfur bound in cloth to the feet of the birds and then released them back into the city. The birds then returned to their homes, the sulfur ignited, and the whole place was set ablaze. Now, while the story is fantastic, I'm a little skeptical. Mainly because sulfur shouldn't just ignite at anything under 230 degrees Celsius, even in powder form. Now I guess with enough friction it could easily spark up, but I don't really see how that could happen, other than maybe some very vigorous pigeon mating. Avian sex aside though, during World War II, the United States genuinely considered a modern-day equivalent of this tactic against the Japanese. Instead of pigeons and sulfur, however, they went for bats and timed incendiary explosives. They were actively tested with optimistic results, but were never actually used. The US famously relied on something altogether more terrifying. Yep, man's best friend has also played his part in wars throughout history. Henry VIII actually famously gave a gift of 400 mastiffs to the King of Spain, who then used them en masse in battles against the French. Can you imagine a pack of 400 mastiffs charging at you? These guys can weigh up to 60 pounds and grow canine teeth up to 2 inches long. Pretty effective, I'd wager. But dogs have also been deployed in conflicts much more recently than that. In World War II, the Russians used dogs as anti-tank weapons against the German armour. Although the original plan had been to train the dogs to drop the explosives and then return to their masters, this tactic routinely failed and was replaced by an impact detonation procedure, which obviously killed the dog in the process. Well, on that depressing note, it's time to end the quiz and also this week's reality check. Let me know your score and also what animals you'd like to see in Far Cry 4 by dropping me a comment down below or by getting in touch on Twitter @CamFrazRob. Now personally, I've got my fingers crossed for sharks with frickin' laser beams on their heads and also dogs with bees in their mouth, and when they bark, they shoot bees at you. Oh, and if you want more info on Far Cry 4 and also more of my face, why not check out the stage demo I hosted at E3 a few weeks ago with executive producer Dan Hay. Okay, thanks for watching, folks. See you next week.